We all know about the show Baywatch, right? It's one of the integral building blocks of the pop culture pyramid, but the issue is, with every year and new generation, we start seeing the bottom of the pyramid less and less. But we've all heard the word Baywatch, and we know what the show is about, right? It's about slow motion lifeguards running on the beach. And I'm assuming most people know that it's starring David Hasselhoff, but maybe most people don't know that. In fact, the only reason I know who David Hasselhoff was because when I was a kid, I watched the SpongeBob SquarePants movie.
Who are you?
I'm David Hasselhoff.
And then I watched some episodes of Knight Rider. I heard about Baywatch, of course. He was a judge on the original America's Got Talent. The other day, Baywatch popped into my head, and I have no idea why. But it did, and I realized that I have absolutely no idea anything about Baywatch. I thought I did. I thought it was about slow motion lifeguards running on the beach, but it occurred to me when I was thinking about it, that can't be what it's about. That would be pretty absurd if that whole show is just about slow motion lifeguards running on a beach. There has to be a plot. The show has to be about something. But I've never heard anyone say something like, oh, this is like that episode of Baywatch. I've never heard any movie or TV show be compared to Baywatch. Never this is a very similar episode to this episode of Baywatch. The closest I ever got to learning about what Baywatch was about was when The Rock and Zac Efron did a Baywatch movie. I didn't see the movie, but the trailers were everywhere. And now that I think about it, it was mostly just slow motion people running on the beach. So I Googled Baywatch to see what it was about. And according to Google, Baywatch is an American action drama television series about lifeguards who patrol the beaches of Los Angeles County, California. So it essentially told me what I already knew. The show is about slow motion lifeguards running on the beach.
Excuse me.
What do you want?
Oh, I'm sorry. This is a public beach. You're not allowed to do that here.
Oh, it's now or never, honey.
But what is the plot? What is the story? I mean, I'm assuming in the first episode, someone drowns and they save them. But then is it just that again and again for 11 seasons? How weird does this show get? When do they jump the shark? Do they actually jump a shark? They are in the ocean. So then I'm like, okay, well maybe the reason that no one ever talks about what Baywatch is about is because it sucks. No one cares what it's about. Dudes just used to watch it because Pamela Anderson would be running slow motion on a beach. And then I found out that during its 1996 peak, 1.1 billion people were watching every single week. In 1996, the world's population was only like 5.6 billion people, meaning 1/5 of the planet was watching this show every single week. That is 1 in 5 people on the planet. What the f*** is this show about?
Oh my God, it's Hulk Hogan.
What do you know? I did get to heaven.
How is it possible that a show this popular isn't brought up casually in the way that The Simpsons or Seinfeld episodes are? So I was like, enough Googling, I need to watch this show. So I checked to see if I could stream it anywhere, and you can stream it everywhere. You can even watch it for free on Tubi. So I decided to watch the first episode, which ended up being the 2-hour pilot. So it was a lot longer than a usual episode. But it doesn't matter because this show absolutely rocks. Now the show does seem a bit soap opera-y in the sense that most of the show is about conflict and resolution between all of the different characters in the show, which is a lot. For example, David Hasselhoff's character is fighting for custody of his son after his recent divorce. And then there's this other lifeguard who saves this young woman and she becomes obsessed with him. And so she tries to ruin his marriage by bringing up these affair allegations, and then she tries to kill his wife with a knife. And then there's a lifeguard rookie who's just trying to get the hang of being a lifeguard and the responsibility that bears. She tries to save this kid and almost doesn't, and so it causes her to panic. So this older lady lifeguard pulls her aside and is like, look, I believe in you. We've got this. We're a family. Because lifeguards are family. Speaking of family, there's another new lifeguard who never had a family growing up. He grew up in like foster homes, and so he's really struggling with having a family now because lifeguards are family. And then we have this older lifeguard who's reaching retirement age, but he doesn't want to give up the sand. The beach is who he is. And the same goes for Hasselhoff's character. He has become a lieutenant, so he's no longer the guy on the beach making the saves, which he's really struggling with because he doesn't like wearing real shoes. He likes his flip-flops. It's like he doesn't even know who he is anymore. So you have all of this character drama going on, and then occasionally you'll get to see a bunch of men and women running around half naked in slow motion. And even more occasionally, someone will start to drown. And when someone starts to drown, it gets crazy. The whole squad rushes into the water to make the save. We've got helicopters, we've got boats, we've got dudes ripping their shirts off before diving in the water. During one of the saves, we have a rival Australian lifeguard who thinks lifeguarding's just about being cool. There's like a young kid drowning near him, but he goes past the young kid to go save this hot lady. And David Hasselhoff's like, "You're supposed to save the kid, not the hot lady. That's not what lifeguarding's about." Hasselhoff had to lay down the law. That's his beach. Oh, and in another part of this episode, a boat blows up, and it's got David Hasselhoff's son and the old lifeguard who's close to retirement on board. So it's up to the Hoff and this old lifeguard to save his son. And you best believe David Hasselhoff ripped his shirt off before saving his son. And now that I've watched the 2-hour pilot, I'm totally hooked. It's very similar to other medical drama shows like House or Grey's Anatomy, except this one takes place on a beach. Now, will I go on to watch all 11 seasons of this show? Probably not. However, I definitely want to watch more. I peeked at the description for the next episode, episode 2, and it says something about Hasselhoff's son getting caught up in a reckless gang of jet skiers. So you know Papa's gotta watch that. In fact, I looked at a lot of the episode descriptions for the whole first season, and it gets crazy. There's beach rats, a deserted island episode, robbers who drop tons of money they stole onto the beach out of a crashed plane, a serial killer in ghost makeup, a mobster boyfriend, tropical storms, beach volleyball tournaments, water slide vandals. Who am I kidding? I'm going to watch every episode of this show.
On the next Baywatch. Mitch's new boss is an old flame.
All the beaches and all the towns and all the world, she has to walk into mine.
And their jaded past rises to the surface.
If I'd known I was going to be transferred to Baywatch, I never would have accepted this assignment.
Until a surf and turf war forces them to dive into danger.
The local worms who think they own the beach put a couple of surfers in hospital yesterday.
On Baywatch.
Surf's Up tonight at 8 on Channel 11.
And I'm really glad that I've watched the show because now I and you both know what Baywatch is about. It's about slow motion lifeguards running on a beach. And child custody. And attempted murder. And coming to grips with growing up and realizing you're not the same young lifeguard you used to be. And having to wear shoes and not just flip-flops. And cocky Australian lifeguards. And false affair allegations. And learning to believe in yourself. And getting over your traumatic childhood. And death. Yes, an important character dies. I'm not going to say who, you got to watch it for yourself. So the next time that someone mentions Baywatch, which is bound to happen, you're going to be able to stick up for it and say it's not just about slow motion lifeguards running on a beach, although that does happen quite a bit. It is a very important part of the pop culture pyramid. And when it comes to the pop culture pyramid, the blocks at the bottom are huge. And they have to be to support all of the smaller blocks that get put on top of them every single day. And Baywatch is one of the biggest blocks down there. It has to be. In order to support 1.1 billion people. And Hasselhoff's abs.
Step out of line one more time. You got me to answer to.
Thanks for watching. Comment if you've seen the show, if you're going to see the show now. Tell me if it gets as crazy as I think it does. All right, like, subscribe, whatever.